Hey guys, this is Steven with Virgin Cow again. I want to do another guitar video. This time we want to talk about amps. We're going to run down all the amps that I have and all the amps that I use. Not really in any particular order, but we'll go into a little bit of detail. I'm not going to demo them in this video. I just want to run over the amps, and we'll do some demos later. I'll let you guys hear them a little bit later, okay? First of all, I want to talk about my Mesa Boogie here. It's a Mark II C Plus head. We can talk about the settings later, but we can see all the different settings. We got a volume with a pull bright, treble, pull shift, bass, pull shift, middle, master one, lead drive. Oh man, just phenomenal amp. Just phenomenal amp. Like I said, we'll demo this one later. But I actually got this amp in this cabinet, this old 412 cabinet, from one of my old guitar teachers. I got to thank Ted Greer for selling this amp to me. It's one of my best sounding amps. I absolutely love it. And like I said, we'll demo it later, but I just want to run through them today. But anyway, this is Mesa Boogie Mark II C Plus head and a 412 cabinet that goes with that. The old school grill, old school metal grill, and awesome amp, awesome amp. Let's go ahead and move over here to this side. I've also got the Zakk Nano head. This is an awesome, awesome amp with the roller bars, two little tubes in it, cooling fan. It's even got a speaker on the bottom. But this little amp right here, man, it's got so many little switches on it. We're going to demo this one later too, because this thing sounds phenomenal through a 412 cabinet. You don't think this little 1.5 watt amp can push power? This thing pushes some power. We're going to demo this one later. You guys are going to love this. This is an awesome, awesome amp right here. Next, we're going to go to the Dailey amp. This is the Jeff Scheetz signature model amp. I contacted the Dailey company, and to be honest with you, I don't see a lot from this company anymore. But this is an awesome amp. Jeff Scheetz is one of my favorite guitar players. I got to give that guy props. He is a phenomenal teacher. You need to check him out. He's got a lot of teaching material, and I've talked to him several times, but this is his signature amp, and this is my main amp now. This is a monster. This is a powerhouse amp. Powerhouse amp. It's got a 2-stage and a 3-stage input. We have definitely got to demo this one later, because this is one of my favorite amps now. This is my main amp. So I got to give props to the Dailey company. I also got to give props to Jeff Scheetz. I've got this amp running into my Genz G-Flex cabinet, my 212 cabinet. This is one that George Lynch used to endorse. It's got his signature on the back. It's got the bass ports at the bottom and everything. And this thing actually can compete with a lot of 412 cabinets. It's just phenomenally loud. And but I know I demoed that one in my church rig several months back. So you can check that video out. I actually have my triple rectifier running through that. But we're going to demo this amp and this cabinet a little bit later. Next, we've got the old Line 6 Axe 2 212 amp. And I need some work. I got my little foot switch with it, but it needs a little work. I first played through this. I got to thank Ryan and Nathan. They were the first ones to let me play through one of their amps. And this has got a lot of signature settings from some signature guitar players, some famous guitar players out there. This is actually a great sounding amp. Phenomenal. I love it. You can do so much with it, and you don't have to do a lot of programming. It's very simple, but we'll run through that one later too. Next, let me move this guitar over here. This is one of my daughter's guitars. I've got this is my wife's grandfather's old twin reverb. Old Fender twin reverb, and I think it's maybe from the 70s. I'm not really sure. He used to play steel guitar through this amp. And this is an awesome, awesome, clean sounding amp. Awesome blues, and man, it's just a phenomenal amp. I'm definitely going to have to demo that, let you guys hear that. But this is, I think, from the late 60s or early 70s. I can't really remember. I have to check out the serial number or something and get some more information on that one. But this is a great sounding amp here. This little bitty thing right here, I love this. I bought this for one of my daughters because it's got like snake skin, pink snake skin, and this is her little practice amp. So I got this in here so we can crank that up and rock out together. Next, let me move this music stand out of the way. We got two amps over here. Go ahead and get some shots of the amps before I talk about them. Let's talk about this one first. This is an old Sears Silvertone amp. And I know it needs a lot of work. I talked to one of my old guitar teachers, and it does need a lot of work. I had him clean it up for me. I actually found this in an old storage building at our church is helping out one of the trailer parks, and they had a big storage building, and this is a really good sounding amp. I know it needs a lot of cleaning and it needs some work, but it really sounds great. I really like it. And we'll demo that one so you guys can hear that one later. And then I have my friend Gary Cox. He gave me this this old Marshall Valvestate S80 amp. And, you know, I heard a lot of people talk about the old British sound, you know, the old British metal sound, rock sound and stuff. And I never really knew what they were talking about. But this amp right here gives you that British sound, this old British metal, old British rock sound. And it's really a good sounding amp. I really like it a lot. You know, it needs some work too. It's an older amp, but I really appreciate Gary giving that one to me. Appreciate that, man. And let's move on over here. I got my little mini Marshall right here. This is my little practice, my little MS2 practice amp. I can take this wherever I go. Battery powered, and or you can plug it in right here. And just a little practice amp. Really cool, you know. It's like a little Marshall half stack. Really cool. And next we've got our little Marshall mini stack. This is the Zakk Wylde signature. This is the MG series 15 watt amp. And it's got 2 speaker cabinets there. It's a really cool sounding amp. It's got a lot of crunch, a lot of good overdrive. A lot of thick sounding overdrive, and really good things. You know, it's solid state, but I practice with it a lot, and it's good. You know, if I just want to jam out for a little bit, you know, without having to turn on a tube amp or something like that. Really great sounding thing, and I've done some little small venue shows and stuff with that one. Really good sounding amp. And next, the next thing that I want to talk about is this old Univox amp. This is actually a PA amp. It's got 4 different inputs, and let me get the cabinet here. Let me come back over here. It's got 2 cabinets. Let me lower this music stand here. It's got 2 old, what are these, like 410 cabinets or something like that? Old Univox from the 70s, I believe. And I got these custom cases made for them. I got these made from DC Cases. Jeff Scheetz, a good guitar teacher, good guitar player, one of the guys that I look up to. He's an inspiration to me. Jeff Scheetz told me about DC Cases several years back, and I had them custom make these cases for me. And but I don't hear a lot from that company anymore. But anyway, they made those for me. But my dad, and let's go back over here and talk about this amp a little bit. My dad used to use this years ago, I think for a lot of church stuff that they did. And I kind of actually permanently borrowed. I think I permanently borrowed this from my dad. Oh, and here's the case that I had made for this too. Can you back up a little bit and show the case? This is a custom case that I had made, again, with DC Cases. But with this amp, like I said, it's from like the 70s or something. But I do a lot of, when I do a lot of recording, like I got my Boss BR16, my 16 channel recorder sitting on top of it. I've got that running through this PA system. And I usually plug up a mic or something like that through that PA system, so I can do a lot of practice and do a lot of recording with that PA system. But I've taken that, I've done a lot of shows with that. We've used that at church a whole bunch, and it's just a quick, handy little thing if you don't want to mess with a whole lot of stuff. If you don't have a whole lot of stuff to mess with, like I can use my 16-track recorder. To have a bunch of inputs. I can have 16 inputs and just run the outs from my recorder into the PA system. So you can use maybe like a 16-track recorder or another mixing board if you need more channels, and just run the outs from whatever that mixing board is into the PA system. So it's a great little deal. I use that a whole bunch. So thanks, Dad. I really appreciate it, man. I don't think he really likes the fact that I have it, but I'm using it. I'm actually putting it to use. So I appreciate that, Dad. Thanks. But again, this is Steven with Virgin Cow, and like I said, I'm going to demo everything later. We'll do a whole bunch of demos later and let you guys hear everything, see what it sounds like, and maybe if you're looking for a new amp or something like that, maybe you'll find something that you're interested in. But again, you can check out virgincow.com, www.virgincow.com, to check out more about Virgin Cow, and you can also go to the Guitarist Corner page, where I've got a bunch of lists of all my gear, all my pedals, my guitars, my amps, and all that stuff, everything that I use. I've got all that stuff listed on there. So check out that Guitarist Corner page at virgincow.com. And again, this is Stephen Kennedy. We'll see you guys next time.